Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It feels like it's been absolutely forever since I've recorded a video, but here we are, we're back, and just in time for the brand new Minecraft 1.20.50 update release. This update just came out today, however it's been hours and hours of waiting. It's currently 5 o'clock for me, and I still cannot install the update, so I am currently on the beta and preview, because all the features are already in here. Now, today's update covers a good range of features from bats to decorated pots, all the new 1.20 features, the how to play screen, and plenty of other changes. And if you are interested in any of the 1.20 related stuff, go back and watch some of my beta and preview videos because I will not be covering those in today's video. The only thing I will say about those is in order to activate them on a world, you have to, when creating the world, tick the experiment that says update 1.20. So for starters, let's go ahead and take a look at the brand new bat model. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and put a bat inside of a little box here. So this is the brand new bat model. If I go ahead and pop into spectator mode, the bat won't be so scared of me, so we can go ahead and get a real close-up look of it here when it's hanging upside down. And if we go ahead and pop back into creative mode, we can go ahead and see it actually start flying, get a real good close-up look on it. What I will note is the ears are the main difference. There are changes all around, but the biggest one is the wings now have more of a wing-like feeling to them, in my opinion. They also have like the bone structure shown in them, and I really love the ears. The ears make it look so much cooler. So that is the new bat model. Now we can go ahead and talk about the improvements to decorated pots. Alright, so when it comes to the brand new decorated pot features, all that you really need to know is that you can now go ahead and put items inside of them. When you put these items inside of them, they wobble, play a sound, and a little animation, and these pots can hold up to exactly 64 of one type of item. If I go ahead and fill this up all the way real quickly, you can no longer put any more items in there. Now, the only way to get these items out is to either break it or pull them out with a hopper. So if I go ahead and show you this, you can go ahead and pull these out with a hopper. So any items that I put into this pot will then just go down into this hopper. Or if you don't want to suck them out with a hopper, but you don't want to have to punch it, you can go ahead and break it with a projectile, whether this is a arrow from a bow and arrow, or a snowball, an egg. Any type of projectile will break the pot and give back any items inside of that pot. Now, these pots, like I said, hold up to 64 of an item or one unstackable item. And you cannot mix item types in there. So if I were to go ahead and put in a diamond, I cannot then go ahead and put in another thing that can stack to 64 because it only has one inventory slot, pretty much. That's the way to think of it. So you can put swords, you can put any item in the game in these pots, but it is limited by 64 items. It's pretty much just one inventory slot, like I said earlier. Think of it that way. Now, also with these pots, comparators will now read out redstone inputs on them. So if we just go ahead and run this line all the way down here, depending on how many items are inside of this pot, your redstone signal will vary. And as you can see, the more and more items I add to this pot, the farther and farther that redstone power actually goes. And of course, a full pot is a full 15 redstone dust. Right there. Now, what these pots also do is when you put in items to make them wobble like this, it will emit a frequency of 11, which we can go ahead and check by setting up a calibrated skulk sensor on a lectern, and we can get a book with 11 pages. And now that this book is set to 11 pages and inside of the lectern, every time we add an item to a pot, it will emit a frequency of 11, and this will detect the sound. And then that is pretty much it when it comes to the decorated pots here. So now that we've discussed the bat and the decorated pots, let's go ahead and take a look at the brand new How to Play screen. To access this, go to your settings, and if you scroll on down, you should end up finding a section that says How to Play right here with the little question mark. By clicking on that, it brings you to this screen, this giant menu, and you have all kinds of different pieces of information on how to play the game. Now what they've done is they've created new images for this stuff, so there's now new images, they fixed some spelling errors. They also went ahead and updated the encyclopedia, I believe. They fixed some spelling mistakes in here. And yeah, they made a lot of different image changes. So there's now a lot of fun little images like this one here under building and shelter. Under mining, you have this one. You got this under the crafting table, the first craft. They did a whole lot of work. They put a lot of work into this, and I think they did a really good job. Now that we've covered some of the main points, we can go ahead and take a look at some of these smaller changes and features of this update. For starters, the maximum render distance in realms can now be adjusted via backend updates, so like updates of your realm, I guess. I don't really know how realms work. And this does not account for the new render distance changes that will be coming out in the next week. So the render distance on Realms sometime this week will be increasing for those of you who use Realms. For anybody playing on an Xbox, you can now download and move worlds to and from realms that are above the size of 1 gigabyte. And you can now even gain access to realms by clicking a link. So you can now make special links, and these links will automatically launch your Minecraft and load you into that realm that the link is made for, which is actually really cool. All right, now this next change has to do with villagers and raids. So we're going to go ahead and start up a little raid here, and then we can go ahead and actually discuss this change. So what this change is that pillagers and witches will now be able to join in existing raids. So if we go ahead and do /effect, we can go ahead and start up this raid, and as we wait for the progress bar to get all the way there. Alright, so now the raid has begun, and you see the progress bar is there. We've got 4 pillagers, and if we go ahead and take out a sword or something, maybe we kill off a few pillagers. Alright, there we go, that's 2 down. Now we see that the bar is halfway, but now if I go ahead and spawn in, say, a witch, or a pillager, or a ravager, the bar is going to increase. Now, because I did technically kill 2, the bar is never going to go all the way up to 100, but these mobs will just join into the raid. And if I were to go ahead and now kill one of these mobs that I spawned, as you see, the bar actually goes down. Also, the witches, as you just saw here, will now throw regeneration and health potions onto any other pillagers and mobs that are a part of the raid, making things even more difficult for you, the player trying to beat the raid. Alright, for these next 2 changes, I would like to go ahead and talk about. We're going to need a baby horse, so right here, get you in the boat, and then end rods. So first of all, any horse that is a baby in a boat, any mob that is too big to fit into a boat normally, so like this adult horse or a polar bear, mobs like that normally can't fit into boats anymore since Mojang's changed. I don't even know how long ago that was. I think that was early this year. Any mobs like those, this do not fit in boats, okay? But some of their babies do fit in the boats, like this horse. Now, whenever one of those animals grow up and actually become big enough to no longer fit in the boat, they will get kicked out of that boat once they are fully grown. And you're going to see that with this horse. Previously, the adult mob would just stay in the boat, and you'd have a very rare thing, which would be just a mob that can't be in a boat. And they were very rare, they were very cool, but now that can no longer happen. It will just kick them out of the boat as soon as they grow up. Secondly, my thing with end rods, for the longest time, the hitbox has been messed up. So if I had a end rod going horizontally, the hitbox would still be vertical, and it really annoyed me. So I'm very happy to report that horizontal end rods now have their hitboxes completely fixed. And then they also changed the way that the game does math. So what it says in the changelog is that the calculation to determine whether a mob can attack a player or other mobs has been changed. Previously, the horizontal width of the mob was used to determine their attack reach, and their height had no effect. But now the area where the mob can attack is their bounding box extended in the horizontal distance. So this affects every single mob in the game pretty much, except for the player. The player does not get any more or less reach, but other mobs may have more or less. They just redid this math to pretty much every single mob. They just didn't like the way it works before. Now, that is pretty much it for this update. Of course, there's a few other smaller things in there, but these are the big ones that I think really mattered, and the one that really annoyed me, and I'm glad got fixed. Other than that, on touch controls, there's a new way to crouch in water. I guess that wasn't available before. It says that it wasn't optional before, and now it's possible to sneak in water on touch controls, so good for you guys. And then it also says that loading screens will now display 3 categories of tips based on player progression. So I suppose that's cool. Depending on your progression in the world, those tips on your loading screen may actually be more or less useful today. But that is going to be it for today's video. For all of you that have stuck around to the end, thank you all very much for watching. And for those of you who don't know, I have a 2023 December Advent calendar going on where every single day of December up until Christmas, there is a new tutorial video going out. So maybe, just maybe, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and then you guys can go ahead and watch all those tutorials as they come out every single day. Anyways, that's going to be enough on that. This has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!